I'll touch on some of the sort of the key stats first, just to paint the picture of what the market currently looks like. So as you can see, the unemployment rate extremely low, sitting at basically 4 on the dot. I believe if it goes to 3.9, it will be the lowest rate in since 1974. So that will be the lowest rate in almost 50 years. It certainly feels like, anecdotally, in working in this space, that the competition for people is probably as intense as it was in 2007 when people were throwing around crazy money to get people to come across, except the competition now is not only about remuneration, it's about so many other things, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we've got the broader employment market. As you can see, unemployment trending down there very quickly. The other part of this is the monthly hours worked in all jobs. And as you can see, if you look towards the top of that graph, you can see that the monthly hours that are worked just indicates the strength in the market. And it also shows that not only do we have a low unemployment rate, that also has equated to a high number of monthly hours. So it's not a fake number where people are underemployed. We have a number of hours that is basically close to or sitting at record levels. And that also means that people are working as much hours as they're getting the hours that they want, or they're getting as many hours as they want, and some probably working more hours than they would like. We then look at, again, the number of employed people. So looking at there, 13.5 million people employed. So record number of people being employed. We've then got, this is the underemployment rate. So as you can see, trending down. So that's that, everyone who wants a job can get a job. Everyone who wants a certain number of hours can get those hours, or may even be asked to work more than what they want to work. So again, another indicator that it's very strong, the data, that there's people are not available for extra work, or not as much as they may have used to have been, and everyone's employed. Everyone who wants a job can get it. Everyone can get the type of job that they want. So that all feeds into some of the figures here, and that's just an indicator of the record levels of demand for, that's adverts, is it, Andrew? Yeah, adverts. So this is the Seek data talking about the various different states and the record numbers of adverts. So that's just some high level kind of numbers. But then we look at, I really love this graph, and this is an interesting one. And I want you to focus on a few of the industries. So what this is the percentage change by industry in job ad volume from March 2022 from February 2022. So from February to March, this is the increment in the change. And I'm going to draw your attention to, I just want you to have a look at some of the high numbers here. So have a look at hospitality and tourism, have a look at education and training, have a look at retail and consumer products. You could probably, advertising, arts and media, obviously that's a high one as well. You've got also sales. I'll just take those first three. So hospitality and tourism, education and training, retail and consumer products, just the three that are quite obvious there. Does anyone have an idea of what do those three industries, even though they're quite different, what do those three industries have in common? Exactly. That's exactly what it is. The need to be there in person. So what we're seeing now is we're seeing occupations, and this is not just anecdotal evidence that we've been sort of hearing for a while from clients and dealing with this sort of stuff, but this seems to be coming out in the data, that roles that require people to be in person, what was your name again, sorry? Isabella, as she identified, is that those roles are becoming, on average, and obviously each their own and individuals will have different preferences, but on the average, and all else being equal, those roles are becoming less attractive. So people are leaving hospitality, they're leaving education, they're leaving retail, they're going to other industries. And one of the drivers of this is the work from home phenomenon, that they're leaving occupations where, hospitality and retail and tourism, where you've got to be at a place, at a premises every day, to a role where, you know what, I can get the same money, work 4 days a week from home, 1 day a week from the office, or no days a week from the office in some cases. And that is a much better lifestyle choice. They can, work their personal commitments around. They can take phone calls while doing the dishes or doing whatever they need to do. And I think that we're just seeing that now as being something that's desirable in employment. And we've been saying to our clients that it is really a case of, and look, this is probably very uncomfortable for a lot of the people on this group today to hear this, but I say this is that if you think that if you're in a white collar occupation, and if it's your intention to just simply resume with 5 days a week, office, everyone coming back in, that practice is just not going to work in the long run. It may work in the short term. People may tolerate it and put up with it in the short term, but pretty soon in white collar occupations, there's other white collar occupations offering better work-life balance, work-life flexibility. Look, some people, and look, I know certainly some people who live in small apartments close to the city, don't want to work at home, want to come to an office. That's fine. I'm talking about, I'm really focusing on the average person who probably is not necessarily in that situation. And I would certainly say the overwhelming majority seem to have a preference or favour those type of working from home arrangements. Some like, more of a mix than others, but that's why we are seeing a flight from hospitality, education, retail, and those types of industries. And
it's always been a shortage of nurses.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just trying to look at that, what that would come up. Well, that would be in healthcare and medical. There's maybe the healthcare and medical. There's maybe a little bit of a. I think there's probably an element of that, but I think there's probably another part, particularly in the hospitality and tourism and retail part of that discussion, is that those are also notoriously not very well paid occupations as well. So the education one is troubling because that is one that's quite well paid. Healthcare one, again, you're probably right, is probably an obligation type of thing as well. And it'll be interesting to see the adverts in the coming months. Bear in mind, this was March versus February. So the health thing may have been also something where there was already an increase in those shortages, because certainly there's shortages. But what this is showing me in particular is that the number of vacancies in those areas has gone up dramatically, which means that there's big shortages in those areas, more so than there was even a month ago. And second of all, that seems to align with the theory that those roles are in person, they're less attractive. If people leave those industries, then more vacancies become available. And just talking with restaurant clients, the things they are trying to do to attract people to work for them, we've got, restaurants giving $5,000 sign-on bonuses for people to come on board. We've got full-time employees working 4-day weeks in hospitality. We had one of our member clients was actually doing that, and it was a really good strategy. They were doing 4 10-hour shifts. That was better than anyone else in the industry was offering in hospitality. So yeah, as you can see there, the net migration is well below. Well, it's at levels of where it was in the near the 1920s at the moment. So that's killing those industries. You're 100% right. Does your business currently have a HR or workplace relations issue?
Are you unsure how to work through compliance issues but still achieve a good business outcome?
Why not take advantage of On-Demand HR's free 30-minute online consultation with an experienced HR consultant?
At the end of the consultation, we also provide you with a strategic action plan to resolve your current issues.
To see the types of matters we can help with and to schedule your consultation, please visit ondemandhr.com.au/advice.
We look forward to delivering certainty, confidence, and clarity for your business in your HR and workplace relations affairs.